participants and experts for a coconut readiness program. Today, you are going to have lecture on good agricultural practices in cocoa production by Dr. M.Kalpana, Associate Professor, Horticulture at College of Horticulture, Venkataramannagudem. Previously, you have heard the lectures by Madam on coconut recycling and also crop improvement in coconut. Madam has vast experience in coconut. Her lecture will be very useful for you. Now I invite Dr. M.Kalpana to start this session on good agricultural practices in cocoa production.
Thank you, Padma. Thank you very much. Dear participants, welcome you all once again. Today I am going to brief you on good agricultural practices in cocoa production. You already know that you have heard my lectures on crop improvement, coconut-based cropping systems and organic recycling in coconut. Today I will discuss in cocoa production. So, what is meant by good agricultural practices? These good agricultural practices are nothing but it's a best farming practices that we have to implement in the cocoa crop to produce the more production and the high quality cocoa for the long-term health of the farm. Generally, these good agricultural practices will implementation of these good agricultural practices, it will ensure the following principles. So that is, one is food safety, then environmental management, worker health, worker safety, and also welfare. Lastly, we will produce the quality produce. These good agricultural practices we have to follow right from the establishment of the farm till and maintenance of the farm, and also during the crop production, and also cocoa crop protection from crop harvest, post-harvest, and on farm processing and storage. These practices we have to follow from the seed to the final harvest and processing. Okay, before going to the good agricultural practices in cocoa, just I want to brief about the crop and its distribution, and also how this crop entered into the new world, and its origin and its botany. Just in a few seconds I want to brief it. Already Dr. Padma had explained. I don't want to stress more, but still I want to give a brief outline of the outline on this crop. Actually, this cocoa is the third important breweries crop next to coffee and tea. It is the very important item for confectionery industries, and it is the only source for chocolate industry or chocolate production. Coming to its genus, species, and its family, this cocoa is comes to a genus Theobroma, and the species is cocoa. It before earlier it was kept under a family Sterclaceae. Now, based on its DNA evidences, the genus Theobroma is kept under Malvaceae family, which although this has yet to be widely accepted. But this crop Theobroma cocoa, the name has been given by Linnaeus, which is nothing but the food of gods. The food of gods, the name is given by the native people of native tribal people of Central America who lives in Brazil. So coming to its domestication, how this crop has entered into the new world. I already told that its place of origin is in the eastern slopes of Andes, where the one tribal people used to cultivate this crop mainly for currency purpose, and also for the exchange of for exchange of money. They use these cocoa pods as a currency material. From there, it has been the Crayola variety has been Crayola genetic group has been dispersed to the north, and the forester to the east. The main domestication is concentrated in the Central America. So actually these people, this Central American, one of the tribe I already told that Mayan and Aztecs, they live in the lowlands of the Central America where this cocoa is originated. They used to prepare one of the breweries from that. They used to roasted the cocoa beans and they mixed it with the ground corn and also the pepper, which is having a bitter flavor. And this cocoa, it has been dispersed from this region to the entire world. In the year 16th, the Forestro group has been dispersed to the African countries, and the Crayola group from north, it has been dispersed to the Asian countries, and this Trinitaro group, this is a hybrid between the Crayola and the Forestro, which is originated at Trinidad Islands in the 17th century. So this is how this crop has been distributed to the entire world. Then I already told that this crop is a small under storage tree which has been grown under tall big trees in the Amazon forest. These people, the Central American people, they called it as the food of gods, and these people used to make a festive from this dried, roasted and fried beans along with maize and pepper, and they used to take a drink. But this is very bitter in taste. That's why these European people, Spaniards, they supplemented this maize and pepper with milk and sugar, and thus they produce the chocolates. Thus there was a car for the product in the European countries. Thus the chocolate business has been developed and dispersed to the entire world. So coming to its composition, mostly this cocoa bean is very rich in fat content, which is having 54% of fat and 31% of carbohydrates, along with 11% of the proteins and 3% polyphenols and less than 1% of minerals. These are very important for the health, and also it's a very relishing beverage that has been widely used in the all aged groups. If you take, I already told, it is rich in fats, carbohydrates, proteins, dietary fats, vitamins and minerals. How much quantity it has been distributed in the cocoa I had been given. Regarding its health benefits, it's in one of the highly prized and non-pungent condiment ingredient employed especially as a flavoring agent in a wide array of confectionaries. It is very rich source of fat content, and the cocoa, from that cocoa beans they had extracted one byproduct, that is cocoa solids, which is this butter is rich in fat content, whereas this cocoa solids are very low in calories. After extraction of this butter, they will get the cocoa powder, which is rich in minerals and phytochemicals. And also these cocoa solids are also contain phytochemicals like theobroma and caffeine, which is less than very less content when compared to the caffeine in coffee. Then coming to its other benefits of this cocoa, it is also having phenolic antioxidants, and also it is a rich source of B complex group of vitamins. So these vitamins, they help in enzyme synthesis and nervous system function and regulating the body metabolism. And these solids, the cocoa solids are excellent composition of minerals like iron, selenium, calcium, magnesium, potassium, manganese and zinc. Among all these, the selenium is a cardioprotective and antioxidant that is abundantly found in these cocoa beans. So these are the health benefits of the cocoa. That's why it is widely accepted in the entire world. How the wild cocoa is distributed? Mainly it is a typical tropical crop which is surrounded near to the equator, that is 10 degrees north and 10 degrees south of the equator. That's why the wild species of the Theobroma is entirely concentrated near to the equatorial region, that is Colombia, Ecuador, South America, Brazil, then Ghana, Nigeria, among Asian countries it's Malaysia, Indonesia and Papua New Guinea. Then coming to the world production of the cocoa, among all the countries, the African countries such as Ivory Coast and Ghana and Nigeria are the major cocoa producing countries. In Asia, it is Indonesia and Malaysia. In America, it is Brazil and Ecuador, and Oceania, it is Papua New Guinea is the major cocoa producing countries in the world. Among all these, Ivory Coast and Ghana are the largest cocoa exporters in the world. Coming to its production, I already told that 70% of the world cocoa production comes from the African region, that is the Ivory Coast and Ghana, then followed by this Asian countries, that Indonesia and Malaysia, and American countries like Brazil and Ecuador. Coming to its brief history, in introduction of this crop in India, it's almost way back to 1798. It was first introduced in Kottalam in Thiruvannamalai district of Old Madras state, but it was not that much concentrated at that time. Again, it was introduced in Chundel in Wayanad district of Kerala in the year 1965. But actual commercial cultivation started in the year 1970s onwards. Why means these Mondelez people used to supply the pre-planting material to the farmers. It is from this Mondelez company, before it was called as Cadbury India Limited. They used to supply the farmers the pre-planting material and technical know-how, technical knowledge to the farming community. Thus, the commercial cultivation started in the year 1970s. Then, that is Central Plantation Crop Research Institute in the year 1972, they started a research program on cocoa in 1972, followed by Kerala Agricultural University in the year 1979. But even though the crop was introduced in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu in early 90s, but much research was not concentrated in AP and Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, TNAU, Tamil Nadu Agricultural University in the year 2008, they started intensive research on cocoa, mainly to promote the cocoa cultivation in the state. But in Andhra Pradesh, we already started research in Coconut Research Station, Ambajipeta, mainly on the suitability of the crop in this region under coconut and oil palm gardens. So the intensive research was started in year 2017, where the voluntary center on cocoa under ASRP palms was given to Horticulture Research Station Vijay, which comes under Dr.YSRHU Horticulture University, mainly to emphasize the research on cocoa production and production technologies. So, I already told the South Indian states are mainly the Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh are the major cocoa producing states in India. Among these, the Tamil Nadu stands first in area, followed by Andhra Pradesh, whereas the production Andhra Pradesh is the leading, followed by Karnataka. So, maximum area is in Tamil Nadu and the Andhra Pradesh. So, a brief history about this introduction of crop in Andhra Pradesh. I already told it was introduced in late 80s, but the commercial cultivation only started in the year 1990. This crop was introduced in the West Godavari district of Andhra Pradesh. The farmers bought this crop in early 80s only and planted as an intercrop in the coconut garden, but its commercial cultivation started only during the 1990s. In Andhra Pradesh, it was mainly grown as intercrop in coconut and oil palm gardens. In recent years, this cocoa crop has been tried as a solo crop in some of the farmers field. Because of its area expansion and getting more income when compared to the main crop, this crop is gaining importance in Andhra Pradesh. That's why Andhra Pradesh is emerging as the largest hub for cocoa in India with an area of 26,600 hectares. So coming to the area and production in Andhra Pradesh, the major area and production is concentrated in West Godavari and East Godavari districts of Andhra Pradesh. This is the statistics in the year 2017 and 18. So I already told the Theobroma cocoa, which is the food of the gods. It got mainly two genetic groups. One is the genetic clusters, that is, one is the Crayola and the forest row. And among these, the whole chocolate production mainly depends upon the forest row, which contributes 80% of whole chocolate production, followed by Trinitario, which is the hybrid between the forest row and Crayola, that is 15%, and the least is Crayola, which contributes only 5%. Among this, actually, this cultivated species, it was classified by Cheeman in the year 1944 based on the morphological characters of the flower spots and the beans. He classified this Crayola, forest row, and Trinitario. This the Crayola group of cocoa. It is widely cultivated in Venezuela, Mexico, Colombia, and Guatemala region. It is very most ancient cultivated species. But the thing is, it is very poor in vigor and it is highly susceptible to the pests and diseases. But the flavor is very pleasant and it got very pleasant flavor. Then this is the forest row group of cocoa, which is cultivated in Brazil, West Africa, Central America, Southeast Asia, and Caribbean and islands. It is widely cultivated group in the world, and it is more vigorous. And the Western American African Amelado belongs to this forest row group. Then comes to the Trinitario, which is a cross between the forest row and Trinitario, which evolved in the 17th centuries. It was selected at Trinidad Islands. That's why the name came into existence as a Trinitario group of cocoa. It is highly heterogeneous, which is cultivated in Mexico, Central America, Trinidad, Colombia, Venezuela, and some of the African and Southeast Asian countries. The botanical traits of this Trinitario and the bean flavor is intermediate between the forest row and the Crayola group. Here the differentiation has been given. This is already explained by Dr. Padma. I am not going to more, but the bean number in Crayola is very less, whereas the bean number in forest row in Trinitario is more than 30 beans per pod, whereas the fermentation is very quick in Crayola. It is slow in Trinitario, but slow in forest row, which will take almost 6 to 7 days, whereas Trinitario, it takes only 5 to 6 days. Coming to its flavor, it got very blunt and pleasant flavor. When it comes to forest row, it is harsh and bitter flavor will be there. Whereas in Trinitario, it got a mixed flavor of both the Crayola and forest row. But coming to its reaction to the pests and diseases, the Crayola group of cocoa is highly susceptible, whereas Trinitario and the forest row are highly tolerant. That's why the Crayola are native or fine cocoa types, whereas the forest row is the basic cocoa types and the Trinitario is the bulk or cultivated cocoa types. So here they had been given examples. Then coming to the varieties of India, actually I already told the CPCRI regional station Vittal is working on cocoa. So they had released almost 5 hybrids, which are very suitable to South Indian conditions, and also Vittal hybrid cocoa, Vittal cocoa hybrid 3 and 4. They are heavy vigorous and suitable for the water limited conditions, that is drought conditions. So, and Vittal hybrid 5, it is suitable for high density planting system. Then coming to the some of the clones, they had released 2 clones, and the Vittal cocoa selection 1 also they had been released, which is suitable for traditional, non-traditional, and northeastern regions also. These all germplasm, the material is supplied to the coconut research station Ambajipeta, and to see their performance under coconut and also under oil palm at horticulture research station Vijayrai. So these are the varieties that has been released from Kerala Agricultural University. That cocoa research station that comes under Kerala Agricultural University. They had a combined project with Mondelez India Limited. Former it is called as Cadbury's India Limited. So they had released almost a series of Cadbury KAU cooperative cocoa research project 1 to CCRP 7. Well, these are all high yielding, and mostly they worked on the vascular streak disease, which is prominent in Kerala region. So, and besides this, the CCRP 2, 3, 4, and 6 were found to be very drought tolerant varieties, and also they had released hybrids around 7 hybrids, which were named as CCRP 8 to CCRP 15. So before going to actual good agricultural practices in cocoa, I want to brief about the botany of the cocoa, which is important for the management of the crop under field conditions. So this cocoa is a semi-deciduous crop. When the seed is sown, it will sown. When the seed is sown, it comes to the anthesis, means the first flowering within 24 and 36 months after transplanting, and full maturity at the age of 10 years after transplanting. Means its first crop comes in between 2 to 3 years, and the matured crop means economic yield starts around 8 to 10 years after transplanting, and the economic produce from well-managed gardens, so we can obtain up to 50 years. So coming to its root system, why the root system is very important means cocoa is almost grown as an intercrop, mostly grown as an intercrop in coconut, oil palm and argonaut gardens. So the root system of these Palmaceae family are fibrous root system, whereas in cocoa it is a dimorphic root, where orthotropic taproot it is having, and a plagiotropic lateral roots it will be there. And in a well-established cocoa garden, the roots will spread to 1.5 meters with a mass of root heights covering 5 to 6 meters around the ground. So they won't interfere with the root system of the main crop. Coming to its stem growth and the jarketing, actually the stem is orthotropic one which is holding the leaves. The stem grows to a point, and this terminal bud, it disintegrates into a fan type of branches. From the base of these branching, again one more chupan will grow and gives the fan type of branching. This is nothing but the jarketing. It will attain at a height of 1 to 1.5 meters, and after transplanting, around 14 months after transplanting, this jarketing will happen. So it is very important to take care in the field in the earlier days, in the young age of the garden. This jarketing is very important. Why means this jarketing will provide when the jarket height is around 1 to 1.5 meters height, it is easy to go for cultural operations in the field level. So when this cocoa is grown as an intercrop in coconut garden, if they are planted in the double system, or if they are planted in the single hedge system, we can restrict the jarketing to first jarket level when it is grown in the double hedge system. Whereas when it is grown in the single hedge system, we can allow for the second jarketing. In oil palm, we mostly restrict this to the first jarketing only. When the cocoa is grown as an solo crop, we have to allow for the second jarketing and also the third jarketing. Why means in initial years of the planting, cocoa needs 50% of the shade. So that 50% of the shade will, when you plant as a solo crop, this 50% of the shade is provided by planting banana as a shade crop. So after removal of the banana, we have to allow this cocoa for the second jarketing, which provides the self shade to the crop. That's why in solo cropping system, or when cocoa is grown as a solo crop, we have to allow for the second jarketing, and also if necessary third jarketing. So this is the main stem, how it grows, and what is its importance. Then coming to its and the growth is in cocoa is, it's a discontinuous process. It is not a continuous process. It in a successive growth phases it will give, that is nothing but the flushes. The flushes are in pink color, or in a light magenta color, and light green, pale green color will be there. It is depends upon the variety, the pigmentation of the flesh will be there. In each flesh, it results in 5 to 6 alternative leaves with the short petals. In a year, almost you will get 4 to 5 flushes. These flushes also will depends upon the climatic condition of that region. If the climatic condition is favorable, at that time you will get 4 to 5 flushes. Otherwise, you will get less than 4 flushes. Okay, and then flowering is also an important indication for successful field establishment in cocoa. Why is the first flowering will start after 24 months after transplanting. We will transplant the seedling, vigorous seedling of age 6 to 8 months old. So this flowering is very important. This flowering depends upon the physiological conditions, soil conditions, and also climatic conditions. In matured cocoa, you will get almost 2 fruiting seasons in the tropical region. Why means it is completely a tropical crop. You will get 2 fruiting seasons. One in the dry period, that is November, December month. One is in June, July. But in our conditions, in AP conditions, the flowering is, the fruiting, it is from Jan to June. The main crop, the main fruiting season we will get in the month of Jan to June, whereas half season we will get in the month of July, August. Okay, this cocoa, the flower of the cocoa is cocoa is a self-incompatible crop. Because of that, mostly the gametophytic self-incompatibility is a predominant in cocoa. So that's why it is an outbreeder and an entomophilous plant. That's why the pollination is carried out by the midges, ants, thrips, and leafhoppers. Within 36 hours after pollination, the fertilization occurs, leading to the formation of a young okra-sized pod. It's nothing but the chiral. The chiral, I will show the picture. Here, this is the flower cushion. Where the flower cushion will fall means the leaf axil. The pollen leaf axil will be there. The base of the pollen leaf axil, you will get a flower cushion, which this flowering cushion contains almost 5 to 50 flowers in a cushion, which is pollinated by the pollinators, that are the midges. After pollination, after the 36 after pollination, a chiral will develop. This chiral, it almost takes 150 to 180 days to get a ripe pod. Okay. So this is all about the flowering pattern of cocoa. Then coming to its just a minute. So this is the pod. Here the number of the pods, it will range around 60 to 80. On an average, you will get 30 to 40 beans in a pod. It is having you might be well known that it is having epicarp, endocarp, and the mesocarp. And in endocarp, you will have the beans are embedded in the mucilaginous material. Then this is all about the botany of the cocoa. Then where we have to grow this crop. I already told that this crop is a typical tropical crop. Then what is its climatic requirement? What are its soil requirement? What is its irrigation requirement, shade requirement? Just I will brief it about. And regarding its adaptation of the cocoa. The cocoa is grown between 20 degrees north and 20 degrees south latitude. The main growing region areas are situated within the 10 degrees north and 10 degrees south around the near to the equator. So cocoa is a low altitude crop performing best with 100 to 300 meters above mean sea level. It also grown at 700 meters above mean sea level. Then coming to its climatic requirement, I already told that cocoa well responds to the temperature and rainfall. That's why the optimum temperature is around 25 degrees and the maximum temperature is around 32 to 32 degrees and the minimum temperature is around 18 to 21 degrees. As the temperature goes low below 10 degrees, it will affect the commercial production of the crop, and if the temperature is around 4 to 8 degrees, there will be defoliation and dieback of the crop. So here I had been given if the temperature is less than 10 degrees, there is a defoliation, dieback, and there will be inhibition of flowering and there will be a damage to the pod. If the temperature is 10 degrees, there is no damage to the plant. The plant will grow, but there will be less yields. So the optimum temperature is around 18 to 30 degrees for growth and yield of the cocoa. When the temperatures are 35 to 45 degrees temperature, you have to provide a sufficient irrigation to get good yields and growth and development and good yields. The temperatures are above 45 degrees, there is no growth, then further increase of the temperature leads to the death of the crop, death of the plant. So coming to the rainfall, I already told that the temperature and the rainfall are very important for cocoa. So it requires a minimum rainfall of 90 to 100 mm rainfall per month with an annual precipitation of 50 to 200 mm, which is well distributed throughout the year. Cocoa is very sensitive to the water stress and prolonged dry periods. If the temperature is more than, if the rainfall is more than 2500 mm, it results in the incidence of the fungal diseases, especially this Phytophthora podrot diseases. And also, if the rainfall is more, means if the continuous rains are there, there will be a drop, there is a drop in the flower, and also this continuous rains for 2 to 3 months, it will causes the incidence of the vascular streak dieback disease in cocoa. So you have to be very careful in cultivation of the crop. So during rainy season, there is in any waterlogged conditions in the initial stage of the establishment of the crop, the growth will be hindered, and if the waterlogged conditions prolongs more, there will be a death of the seedlings. So in adult stage also, there will be a when there is a waterlogged conditions, there will be a drop of the flower, and also there will be a delay in flower, and also suppression of the vegetative growth will be seen. So temperature and rainfall had very significant effect on flowering and subsequent pod setting and thus yields. Coming to the relative humidity, it needs a very high humidity of 70 to 80%. But when the humidity is more, it paves the way for disease infestation. Whereas when the humidity is less, the cocoa leaves become limp and droop, thus causing the severe defoliation. And also it is very sensitive to the wind damage. Also dry winds, they will reduce the cocoa yields. So here I already showed that it's a cauliflorous type of flowering, where flowers arises in a group directly from the old wood of the main orthopedic stem, and also on older plagiotropic branches at points where were originally leaf axils are dropped. So each flower got around 5 to 50 flowers, and all these flowers won't set into fruits. Only 1 to 5% of the flower will set into the fruit or pod. Then, so the climate plays a very important role in flowering. Why means actually this pollination is carried out by the midges. These midges, they will thrive well in the moist, humid environmental conditions. If there are heavy rains or if there is a drought condition, the pollinators will be affected. There is a decrease in the population of natural population, and thus the yields. If the midge population is also less in the dry season months, which starts from the December. That's why when the flowering is there in the month of Jan, February, March means during the dry periods where the midge population is less, the fruit setting is also less, and the harvest which comes during the rainy season, they are half means not you won't get gold beans, you will get more number of flat beans. Like this, the quality will be poor in the crop which is harvested during the rainy season because of lack of pollination, and also because of lack of pollinators, which leads to less pollination, thus reduces the yields during the rainy season. Okay, then coming to the soil factors, it requires the deep, well-drained soils, very good water holding capacity. That's why it is predominantly grown on clay loam and sandy loam soils. Even sandy soils are not at all suitable. If they are provided with high organic matter content, and also then only we have to grow the crop in sandy soils. Then this crop can thrive very wide range of pH, that is from 4.5 to 8 with an optimum 6.5 to 7. It needs very high organic matter content in the top soil for its good growth and high productivity. So this is the ideal soil that is required for cocoa cultivation. The depth of the soil should be 1.5 meters and the organic matter should be 3.5%, whereas carbon nitrogen ratio should be more than 9, and the soil base exchange capacity should be more than 12, and the base saturation should be more than 35, and the optimum total nitrogen and total phosphorus ratio should be around 1.5. So both nursery and the garden should nearer to the water resources to take care of the young plants during the summer months, as the cocoa is very sensitive to drought conditions. Okay, these are the soil types which are suitable for cocoa cultivation. When the particles do not stick together but fall apart, which are the sandy soils, it is not good for cocoa farming. When the particles stick together to form any shape, it is silty soil. Silty soil is also not good for cocoa cultivation. If the particles stick together to form a shape and can be folded like a paste for molding, it is a clay soil which is not good for cocoa farming. If the particles stick together into a shape but can easily break into pieces in the palm, then it is a loamy soil which is the ideal soil for cocoa cultivation. So we have to avoid some of the soils. We should not grow cocoa in some of the soils where the hard layer soils with a lot of stones. Such type of soils are not at all congenial for cocoa cultivation, and the shallow and inferior soils, steep and convex slopes are unsuitable for this cocoa cultivation. And also the coastal sandy soils where the coconut flourishes well, it is also not suitable for cocoa cultivation. Even the soils having the excessive acidity and excessive alkalinity should be avoided for cocoa cultivation. Here I have shown in the pictorial diagram, this is the good soils where it is deep, loose soils where the root penetration is good. This is shallow rocky soils, it is not at all congenial for cocoa, and this is a dampy soils, swampy soils with water level near to the surface, and this is hard pan soils which causes the repeated digging to the same depth. It is not at all congenial for cocoa cultivation. So coming to its shade, cocoa is a shade loving plant which is tolerant to the shade. In the young cocoa plants, it requires 50% of the sunlight, whereas as the tree matures, its shade requirement gradually reduces. Why? Means it will form the first jar cutting, then comes to second jar cutting. There will be self shading will be there. Because of self shading, the mature tree requires less shade. Heavy shade reduces the yields also. Why? Means that's why the yields are less in cocoa grown under oil palm, where the oil palm covers almost 80%. 80% shade will be there in oil palm gardens. Because of that, the yields are less in oil palm. And the maximum photosynthesis at 24% of the full sunlight, maximum photosynthetic occurs So we can grow the crop in such conditions. Then coming to actual production technology, actually the demand for this cocoa by 2050 is around 200 excuse me, 1,000 tons, but the estimated supply is only 121,000 tons. So there is a wide gap of 90,000 tons in the demand and the supply of the cocoa. So how to increase this production? How to increase this production following the good agricultural practices? To achieve this higher yields, better quality, right from the spacing till harvest, we have to take care in every step of the crop production. So we have to take care while spacing and planting, and nutrient and irrigation management, and also canopy management, and during harvest also we have to take care to have a high yield and quality beans. So coming to the spacing, actually this cocoa is grown as an intercrop in coconut, oil palm, argonaut gardens. So the spacing, generally spacing adopted is 2.7 meters to 3 meters spacing. Before planting, 1 month before planting, we have to dig the pits of 15 to 50 meters, 50 centimeters pits we have to dig, and the topsoil we have to mix with 15 to 20 kg of compost or farmyard manure, and planting should be taken during monsoon season. Okay, this is the planting where we have to take care. While planting, after digging the pits, the around vigorous seedlings of around 6 to 8 month old seedlings are selected, and the polythene sheet should be removed and planted with the ball of the earth around the seedling. Then after planting, we have to provide irrigation. So we have to take care during the first year of the planting. Why means the growth, we should remove the weeds around the basins, and we should apply the 50 grams of complex fertilizers after 15 days after planting. And at the early stage, the leaf beetle damage will be more on the young flesh leaves. So we have to spray the carbaryl or monocrotophos or phenolphos to prevent the pest damage. And also in the earlier stage, we will maximum see the zinc and the iron deficiency. So when you observe the zinc deficiency, we have to apply the zinc sulfate at the rate of 2 grams per liter. And also the jarketing is there after 14 months after transplanting. The jarketing will be there, so we have to regulate the jarketing also. That's why we have to take care during the first year of transplanting. And I already told this is grown as a intercrop in coconut garden. If you grow as an intercrop in the coconut garden in single hedge system, here the coconut spacing is given as 7 into 7 meters, whereas cocoa 2 to 3 meters. Single hedge system where it accommodates around 444 trees per hectare, and care should be taken not to be planted near to the base of the palm. And the cocoa plant to plant, the spacing should be adopted around 2.7 meters or 3 meters spacing. Okay, here the average yield will be around 2.5 to 3 kg dry bean yield per tree per year. Then coming to double hedge system, here the double hedge system, almost coconut spacing is 7.5 meters, and from cocoa to cocoa it is only 2.5 meters we have to place. And here the double, the almost 800 trees per hectare can be accommodated. Here we have to take care to restrict the height to the first jarketing in double hedge system of planting. Because of the more number of the trees, you will get more yields. We should not allow for the second jarketing. Why means there will be more shade, and canopy will be more, and there will be reduction in the yields. So care should be taken to restrict the height to only up to first jarket. Then coming to the argonaut, the argonaut spacing will be around 2.7 meters into 2.7 meters, whereas cocoa we have to follow around 2.7 meters, which will accommodate 686 plants per hectare. And if the argonaut and cocoa are planted at the same time, then you go for spacing for about 3 meters, both argonaut and coconut. Here the average dry bean yield is around 1.5 to 2 kgs per tree per year. Then coming to under oil palm, where oil palm is planted in square system of planting. In triangular system of planting, the plant should be planted in a direction where the sunlight will be fully fallen on the tree. So in square system of planting is only recommended. The cocoa should be grown as an intercrop in the square system of planting of oil palm. Here the spacing given is 9 to 9 meters, and the spacing for cocoa is around 2.4 to 3 meter spacing, which will accommodate almost 400 plants per hectare. Here the yields of the cocoa is less. It is 1 to 1.5 kg per tree per year. Then I already told some of the farmers are growing in cocoa as in open conditions as a solo crop, where the spacing adopted is 2.7 to 3 meters, and the plant population is around 680 plants per hectare. Here they are getting around the average yield of 3 to 3.5 kg per tree per year. Okay. This is based on that, seeing the farmers' condition, we started one experiment at the Horticulture Research Station Vijayrai, whether the shade will affect the quality, production and quality of the beans. So we have taken the data from the cocoa grown under coconut, cocoa grown under oil palm, and also in solo conditions. Here this is the yield performance of cocoa under coconut, yield performance of cocoa under oil palm, and the yield performance of cocoa grown as a solo crop. What we observed, these are the pods collected from different cropping systems, and what we observed is the cocoa grown under coconut and also in the open conditions are on par with regard to the all yield and also the quality parameters. But the cocoa grown under oil palm, the yield is less and also the quality parameters are less. Why means because of the shade, and also the dry bean weight is also on par with the cocoa grown under open condition and also grown under coconut. But the dry bean weight is very less in cocoa under oil palm. Okay. So one of the success story that cocoa is grown as a solo crop. Here is the farmer who is an Agretti from Gundrajavaram Mandalam in West Godavari district of Andhra Pradesh. He planted cocoa as a solo crop in 1 hectare of land in the year 2008 with a spacing of 3 into 3 meters, which will accommodate almost 680 plants per hectare. He got average yield of 3.5 kg per tree per year. So actually this success story was recorded by the scientists of Horticulture Research Station Ambajipeta. So they had analyzed the economics of this solo crop from the 3rd year, from the beginning of the flowering, means from the 3rd year to the 8th year. So what they observed is they got the more net returns at the 8th year of the planting as a solo crop, cocoa as a solo crop. They also compared this cocoa intercropped in coconut garden in an area of 4 acres and cocoa grown as a solo crop in 1.5 acres. They got more net returns with the cocoa grown as a solo crop in an area of 1.5 acres, whereas even though 4 acres of land is there, they got less returns in cocoa grown as a intercrop. When cocoa is grown as a solo crop, we have to take care in the earlier establishment of the crop. Afterwards, the yields will be good and also it will give good returns. So coming to the next operation is the weeding operation. I already told we have to take care in the earlier establishment of the crop. The basil should be free from the weeds. We have to go for manual weeding or chemical weeding. But the thing is, once the crop start the jarketing, there is no need of weed control. Why means there is more lateral fall through leaf fall and also through pruning operation. So once the crop is established after 3 years, there is no need of weed growth. Only minimum we have to do weeding in cocoa. Okay, then the nutrient management is very important in cocoa. Why means if cocoa is left as such, it will flower throughout the year when the climatic condition and nutrition and irrigation management is good. So that's why soil nutrient management is very critical to the general health of the plant, particularly where cocoa is grown on the poor soils with low nutrient management. Then actually cocoa got so much of canopy. The fertility of the soils under cocoa plantation with complete canopy formation can be maintained or sustained for a fairly long time due to the availability of the cocoa colony leaves to recycle back into the soil and decomposition of litter. So there is no need of supplementation of nutrients, but because of the continuous harvest, there is a nutrient loss from the soil. So we have to provide good nutrition management to the crop. So the timely fertilizer application will start in the month of during the wet season, that is during the monsoon season. This nutrition, the nitrogen helps in the growth of the leaves, and the phosphorus for flowering, and potash for the vigor at the younger stage, and later stage it is very important for pod production and pod development. That's why the supplement of potash is potash we have to increase with the increase in the age of the palm. So for cocoa tree, I already told, when it is grown as a solo crop, it will give almost 3 kg of dry bean. So here one of the example is, if 1 kg dry bean is produced from the crop, it will remove almost 48 grams of nitrogen, 8 grams of phosphorus, and 95 grams of potash from the soil. So what we'll do means, we have to give the nutrient supplement, we have to supply the nutrients right from the first year of planting. So in the first year, the nitrogen will be around 33 grams, phosphorus 13, and potash 46, which is supplemented in the form of urea, rock phosphate or single superphosphate or muriate of potash. When it comes to the third year, the nitrogen is around 40, phosphorus 30, 40, 140 grams of NPK, which is supplemented in the form of urea 220 grams, single superphosphate 230 grams, and muriate of potash around 230 grams. I already told, for 1 kg production of dry bean from the plant, it will almost remove 48 grams of nitrogen and excuse me, 48 grams of nitrogen, 8 grams of phosphorus, and 95 grams of potash. So from the third year onwards, in AP conditions, we have to supplement nutrients more than if it is urea, around 250 grams, single superphosphate 250 grams, and muriate of potash around 250 grams from the third year. If it is heavy bearing plant, you have to give around 250 grams of urea, 500 grams of urea, then 500 grams of single superphosphate, and 500 grams of muriate of potash. Through fertigation, we are giving 107 grams of urea and diammonium phosphate of DAP as 145 grams, and the muriate as 180 grams of muriate. And the method of application is also important from the right from the planting. In the below 1 year of age, it should be around 50 to 30 centimeters. So we have to make a basin, and we have to incorporate the fertilizer in the basin. With the increase in the age, in the second year it is around 30 to 60 centimeters, whereas from the third year onwards, 60 to 1 meter basin should be prepared around the trunk, and the fertilizers are broadcasted in the basin, and they are forked into the soil, and we have to take care not to split this inorganic fertilizers on the trunk or on the leaf to avoid the burning effect. Okay, this is the fertilizer application where we have to given 2 split doses in the June, July, and also in the September, October. General practice of fertilizer application in cocoa gardens in Andhra Pradesh are in June, July they will maximum after receiving of the monsoons, especially we will receive monsoons in the month of July only, not in the June. We will receive the monsoons in the month of June. If it is early monsoons, we will receive in the month of June, but generally we will receive monsoons in the month of July, where the farmers will go for pruning operation, followed by fertilizer application. When the fertilizers are applied, the tree give a new flesh during the monsoon season, and within after production of the new flesh, flowering will start within 45 days after new flesh. Like that, the flowering will be maximum flowering we will get in the month of August, September months. It will give the pod yield in the month of Jan to June. The pod harvest will be in the month of Jan to June. So after pruning, we have to go for fertilizer application. Besides this, we will get more of recyclable biomass, especially through the leaf litter and also pod husk. Almost 5 to 6 tons of the farm waste we will get from the get in the cocoa gardens, either through the leaf litter or pod husk. So this leaf litter can be we can recycle back into the system, so that we can reduce the usage of inorganic fertilizers. In the pruned leaf, you will get 14 kgs per tree pruned biomass, and the pod husk around 4 kgs, and the dry pin around 2 kgs, which is having a good nutrient value. If you take the leaf, it got 2.73% of nitrogen and the potash of 1.70%. Whereas the bean, it contains the 2.66% of nitrogen and also potash of 1.34%. In pod husk, you will get more of potash around 4.11%. So when you use this biomass and recycle it into the system, there will be a good organic carbon content, and also you can reduce the uses of the inorganic fertilizers. So because of recycling back into the system, the CPCI resonance station Vittal, they have standardized the technique for vermicomposting this farm waste that is obtained from the cocoa. They used the Readiness species. Actually, they mixed this farm waste with 10% of the cow dung slurry, and they maintained the moisture for 30 to 40 degrees for about 2 to 3 weeks. Then they introduced this Readiness species. For 1 kg of the earthworms are released for 1 ton of the waste. So they could obtain a good vermicompost within 60 days. And also, based on this, actually under natural conditions, this cocoa leaves take more than one and a half year for decomposition because of the waxy coating on the leaves. So because of that, the CPCRI resonance station, they had undergone this vermicomposting technique in vermicomposting technique with cocoa and cocoa husk. Actually, the nutrient content they compared in the cocoa leaves and normal composting, how much it will be there. Whereas when these cocoa leaves and husk are vermicompost, how much nutrient content will be there, they had been worked out. And the vermicompost of the cocoa leaves is rich in organic carbon content, nitrogen, phosphorus and potash with less CN ratio of 14.78% along with other micronutrients with a pH of 7.5. So based on that, we also tried at Horticulture Research Station Ambajipeta, we tried it for bioconversion of this farm waste or cocoa litter into an organic manure. We tried various bioagents like Trichoderma hartianum, Chloratus sarcocardu, Pseudomonas fluorescens, and in combination along with the waste decomposer, which is manufactured by the National Center for Organic. It's a bacterial consortium. We have tried among all the treatments. We had got very good results with the waste decomposer, which took almost 4 months for a decomposition of this cocoa palm waste into a good organic manure with a nutrient content of 1.3% of N, 0.19% of P, and 0.29% of potash content. When this is used for the, we can use this compost again into the, we can recycle back into the system. So, and also the Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, they have standardized the protocol for decomposition of the cocoa waste with Phanerochaetus species, where they got a good compost with this species. This can be recommended for composting. In Horticulture Research Station Ambajipeta, we had tried the on-farm decomposition, whereas in other centers they had tried in the tank method or in polybags or tank method they had tried. This is on-farm decomposition we had tried. Okay. So coming to the nutrition deficiency, the major nutrient deficiencies observed with the potash, zinc and iron deficiencies clearly observed in cocoa fields. So this is the potash deficiency where the leaf margins and the leaf tips shows the necrosis. So we call it as leaf scorch, that is, which is a typical symptom of potash deficiency, and it is mainly seen and the older leaf. In severe cases, the older leaves fall off, and the terminal and the tree shows a terminal dieback symptom. It is also just similar to the salt stress symptom. But when you observe this type of symptom in the field, we have to apply the potash content around 500 grams per palm per tree per year in 2 split doses. Okay, then the zinc deficiency is very prominent in our zinc and iron deficiency is very prominent in cocoa, where the leaves shows fluorosis, then vein banding, then the mottling and trickling, and also sickle shaped leaves we will observe when the zinc deficiency is there. So, and the rosette of leaves also we will observe in zinc deficiency conditions. This zinc deficiency is generally observed in neutral, alkaline and sandy soils where the organic matter content is low and also high phosphorus availability. So to rectify this, we have to spray the zinc sulfate of 3 grams 0.3% along with the lime. Then coming to the iron deficiency, the you mostly see this type of symptom in the field where the younger leaves show dark green veins against paler green background, and also white background develop tip scorching. Mostly the older leaves frequently show the narrow marginal and tip scorch. So we have to go for 1% of aqueous ferrous sulfate repeated spray. We have to do at least for 2 to 3 times 2 to 3 times in a year when the symptom is observed in the field. Okay, then coming to the irrigation, cocoa is generally grown in areas where water availability is adequate. So cocoa plants are very sensitive to drought. In such conditions, the irrigation is very essential. During summer months, especially in South Indian conditions, The crop should be irrigated at a regular weekly intervals, which will coincide with the flowering, fruit set, and pod development. So, during November, December, we have to provide irrigation in weekly intervals. From Jan to March, we have to provide in 6 days interval, once in 6 days. Whereas in the summer season, we have to provide irrigation within 4 to 5 days with 175 liters of water. Through drip system of irrigation, we can give 20 liters per day per tree. This is the water requirement of the plant, which is very important. So this is the drip system in cocoa, which provides 20 liters per tree per day. Then the fertigation schedule is standardized by the Tamil Nadu Agricultural University. Actually, the fertilizers, the 100% fertilizers are divided into almost 7 split doses, and the doses during the first flower initiation, almost 8 weeks, they have been given water soluble fertilizers like that fruit set fruit development stage. At fruit development stage 50%, and again 50% in the second maturity stage, and again second fruit set fruit development and fruit maturity stage. The 100% recommended dose of fertilizer has been standardized through drip system. So, application of this 100% RDF as water soluble fertilizers through fertigation by drip recorded the highest number of parts per tree during the first season and also the second season. This fertigation with 100% recommended dose of water soluble fertilizers also recorded the highest dry bean yield during both first season and the second season, which are on par to the 75% recommended dose of water soluble fertilizers. Okay. Then this is the visible symptom of the drought, and when you observe these symptoms, then we have immediately go for the irrigation, where there is a premature leaf fall, yellowing of the basal leaves will be there, then the wilting and the small leaves and slow trunk growth is observed in the crop that is subjected to the drought. So in such type of conditions, we have to go for the drought tolerant Nigerian clones. These are identified by the Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, whereas in CPCRA resonance station, they have identified VTLC hybrid cocoa hybrid 3 and 4 as the varieties for low moisture conditions. Okay, then other important operation to have a good yields in cocoa is the training and pruning. Actually, this topic is covered by the other professor in the next class. I want to just outline the training and pruning. Actually, this is very important operation for good yields and better quality beans in cocoa. By means, the right from the time of planting, we have to take care the training and the pruning operation. The training and pruning operation that is done in the young trees is nothing but structural pruning or formation pruning, and every year we'll do the annual pruning or sanitary pruning. This is the main objective of this structural pruning is to design the height of the first jarcket and to decide the number of the jarkets per tree, and also to optimize the number of the fan branches. This is very important to carry out the cultural operations in cocoa, and also to have a better yields in cocoa. Here, right from the time of planting 6 to 12 months old, we have to see whether the plant is giving a good jarketing or not. The jarket height should be around 1 to 1.5 meters from the base of the plant. So then only it is giving a good jarket. So, and in sometimes when this is the best method of jarketing, where it has given 3 to 4 branches, and this is the wrong method of jarketing. This what we have to do, I'll tell in the next slide. Here, this is the jarket opening from the above. This is the jarket opening. Then come to when there is a two stems which is giving jarketing at the same time. We have to retain one and we have to remove the other ones. Okay. Then if the jarket is happened at the lower lower end, means below 1 centimeter, below 1 meter, then what we have to do now, we have to allow the chupan to grow up and give a second jacket, and when the tree matures, slowly we have to remove these fan branches, so that the height of the plant will be, the jacket height will be maintained. So the best congenial jacket level is around 1 to 1.5 meters. Okay, so this is the canopy architect in the seedling stage. We have to remove all these crisscross branches, chupans, and the shape of the crown should be just like in umbrella. This is the under field conditions. This is the pencil drawn one. This is the graft. The jarketing in graft is entirely different from the jarketing in seedling population. When the grafted or budded plants are removed, budded plants are taken from the chupan, the jarketing in the grafted or budded plants is just like seedling population only. But if the bud material or the graft material, scion stick, is taken from the fan branches, the jarketing is very base to the ground. It is just like fan branches only. This is the canopy architecture in the grafted or budded plants. So I already explained we have to allow for the next jarketing, and this is what I observed in one of the farmers' field, where he planted this cocoa, and he planted the banana as an shade crop in cocoa. After 2 years also, he didn't remove the banana, and he allowed for the ratoon crop. When he allowed for the ratoon crop, there will be a problem in jarketing, where the jarketing is more than 2 meters from the ground level. Why means the tree will grow because of lack of sunlight. It gives a lanky growth. At that time, the what will happen? Even the slight wind also will break the tree. So when you go for the shade crop, we have to permit the shade crop only for main crop, not for the ratoon crop. So we have to take care while going cocoa as a solo crop, and provided with banana as a shade crop. So that is all about the structural pruning. Then we have to come for the annual pruning. Annual pruning, actually the main pruning will be done in the month of July, August, and the slight pruning will be done in the month of November, December in AP conditions. Whereas in South Indian conditions, that is Kerala and Karnataka, the main pruning they will go in the month of almost May, June, and light pruning they will go in the month of September, October. In light pruning, what they will do means they will remove in main pruning, they will remove all the drooping branches, the chupans they will remove, and also the diseased ones, twig ones, then the rat damaged, pod damaged, dry twigs, all should be removed, especially for sanitation and good filtration of the light. So while doing the pruning also we have to take care. I already told the main pruning they will take in the July, August, and the light pruning is practiced in June, July. Whereas in Andhra Pradesh conditions, the light pruning we will practice in the month of November, December. Okay, while doing the pruning operation also we have to take care. We should not do the pruning operation in the summer months where the temperatures are very high, and why means when you do the pruning in the severe summer where the temperatures are very high, the first 2 years it will give the good yields, and then the tree will be affected because of the scorching sun, and the yield will gradually reduce. So severe pruning should not be done in the summer months, and the branches in the jargon should not be removed. Branches and bark should not be damaged with the pruning knives, and we should good pruning tools should be used while doing pruning, and apply the copper oxychloride immediately after pruning to avoid the fungal infestation. This is we should not remove the bark. Why means cocoa got cauliflorous type of flowering, so good tools should be used. This is the pruning operations. We are educating the farmers regarding the pruning in the field conditions. So coming to the final one, the harvest, the cocoa starts flowering from the third year, and the economic yields it will come from the fifth year onwards. The pod almost it will take 140 to 160 days to ripen. Generally, I already told we will have two main crops, especially in the month of June, September, Jan, and June to August. But in AP conditions, the main harvest we will get in the month of Jan to June, and the half season we will get in the month of July, August. So the half season crop may be seen throughout the year, especially under irrigated conditions. Why means in Andhra Pradesh we are going the cocoa under irrigated conditions. So the maturity levels we have to be very specific, and we have to judge based on the color of the change of the color of the pods. The green pods will turn into orange or reddish, and the maturity will start from the apex region. So the almost for every 10 to 15 days we have to do the regular harvesting, and over ripened fruits we have to we should not harvest over ripened pods, and take care has to be taken while harvesting. Why means the flowering cushion, once the flowering cushion is damaged, the plant will not produce flowers from the damaged part till the death of the plant. So we have to use very sharp sickle or instruments for harvesting. We should not pick the pod with the hand. So this is the pods are harvested, and they are kept in the kept for storage for fermentation. And also harvesting the regarding the post harvest handling. One more lecture is there. In that you will have a detailed lecture on the fermentation, and how you will get the beans and the storage of the beans, everything. Okay. So this is as a resource person, we are attending the so many training programs conducted by Department of Horticulture Research Station of Bajipeta, and DCCD funded projects in the entire state. So these are all educating the farmers regarding the advanced technology in cocoa. So as a resource person, here we are releasing on the technical material along with our honorable ex-MLA, then inspection of these cocoa gardens along with our ex-Vice Chancellor Dr. Chiranjeevi Chaudhary Garu, and the Director of Research Scientists of CPCRA, and other department officials. Thank you very much for patient hearing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. Such an elaborate lecture which you have given to the participants. Everything you have covered, right from nutritional aspects to all cultural practices of cocoa also. So good agricultural practices, as we know, very important for every crop for optimum utilization of resources, and also to improve their yield as well as quality of the product. So very useful and very informative and elaborate lecture, madam. Thank you very much.